In today's video, we're going to have a look at the Seiko 5 SNKL19. We're going to begin with a short introduction of the company and of the Seiko 5 brand, and finish with a few thoughts about the watch itself.
Seiko can trace its roots back to 1881, when Kintaro Hattori, who was 21 at the time, opens a shop repairing watches and clocks in Ginza, Tokyo. 11 years later, in 1892, Seikosha was formed in a disused factory in Tokyo in order to produce clocks. In Japanese, Seiko means exquisite, minute, or success, and Sha means house. In 1895, in a bid to expand the business, Kintaro created a pocket watch called a timekeeper. This was the stepping stone to manufacturing the first wristwatch in Japan. This watch was to be called the Laurel and saw the light of day in 1913. Following the Great Kanto earthquake, during which the Seikosha factory was destroyed, a rebirth of the company has taken place through the creation of a new wristwatch, which for the first time would bear the name Seiko. This was launched in December 1924. 1963 is the year the Seiko Sportmatic 5 was launched. It featured 5 attributes: an automatic movement, a day-date display at the 3 o'clock position, water resistance, a recessed crown at the 4 o'clock position, and case and bracelet built for durability. After the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, where the company provided 1,278 timing devices, the popularity of the Sportsmatic 5 exploded, and reportedly in 1966 the number of Seiko 5 exported from Japan was bigger than the total number of self-winding watches from Switzerland. The success of the 5 can in part be attributed to the magic lever. This was a much simpler way of winding the mainspring than the Swiss counterpart and resulted in a much cheaper and durable watch. You could say that the Seiko 5 has popularized the self-winding watch worldwide. The standard was now set, and the Seiko 5 models have been following it for the last 50 years. It is difficult to determine exactly how many models of Seiko 5 and 5 Sports exist, but WatchSleuth.com have collated 2,600 distinct models. As you can see, most of these models use the 7S26 or 36 movements, which were first introduced in 1996. Another good chunk used calibers 4R36, 7, and 8, which were introduced in 2011 as a replacement for the 7S26. Calibers 4206 and 4207 were first released in 1981. Then we're left with a handful of vintage calibers. I'm not entirely certain if this is an exhaustive overview, but I'm sure that the 5 family is in with a good shot of being the watch line with the most numbers of models in the lineup. The SNKL line itself contains 57 watches, and the SNKL23 was famously named a $75 watch that looks like $1,000,000. Although I think we could all agree that most Seiko 5s would be worthy of this accolade.
The SNKL19 that we have here is a dial color variation of the SNKL23 with a grey dial and gold hands and indices. The case diameter is 37 millimeters, thickness is 12 millimeters, and the lug to lug is 45.3. Lug width is 18 millimeters. This is an ideal size for someone who is after a more classically sized watch, and perfectly suited for wrists of up to 7 inches or 18 centimeters. My wrist is just over 7 inch, and I think the size of the watch is perfect for me, especially bearing in mind the lug to lug width of 45 millimeters. The watch band is what you'd expect from a watch that can be had for well under £100. It is a Jubilee style bracelet, which is made up of folded links, which are brushed and interconnected with polished pieces. It tapers down from the 18 millimeters at the hollow end links to just under 16 millimeters at the fold over clasp, which itself is 18 millimeters. As you can expect, the clasp is stamped and it features the Seiko 5 logo on it. The bracelet can be adjusted without any special tools because the links are held together with sliders, and a comfortable fit should not be too hard to achieve because the clasp also has 3 micro adjustments. I find the bracelet to be extremely comfortable, and I think one of the main reasons for that is the high degree of flexibility in the bracelet. The case design is interesting for me, firstly because the case is brushed on the sides in order to integrate better with the bracelet, and the lugs are brushed on top for the same reasons. However, the space in between is polished to a mirror finish. This gives the watch a very distinct look and is very well executed for the small price. Another interesting design detail are the grooves between the bezel and the lugs, which recede on the sides of the case. This defines a clear separation between the bezel and the rest of the case, creating the illusion that the main body of the watch is distinct from what holds it in place on your wrist. The dial is grey and has a sunburst effect, together with striation on the outside half. These delimit the area where the hour markers are applied. The markers themselves, logo and day dates around, are applied, and as the hands they are finished to a high polish. Even on the magnification I struggle to find any blemishes with the dial of this watch. The hour and minute hands have luminescent inserts, and there are also lume pips on the outside of the hour markers. In typical Seiko fashion, the night legibility of this watch is better than most other watches on the market. Everything is protected by a flat hardlex crystal, which as of yet, despite heavy use, hasn't sustained any scratches yet. There is also an exhibition screw down case back, which I think further increases the charm of the watch. Chances are that this is your first automatic watch, and being able to see the inner workings of the rugged 7S26 acted over the years as, let's say, the gateway drug into the world of watches for many an enthusiast. To sum up, I think the classic Seiko 5 is the only watch you could ever need. It is inexpensive, dependable, it wears incredibly nicely on a bracelet, and can easily be dressed up with a leather band. As many have said, the Seiko 5 is the watch world's worst kept secret, and I'm sure I will be enjoying mine for many years to come. So yeah, thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you.